Okay.
All
Yay.
right. Whew. Okay. I'm gonna start over again.
Do
Thank
it.
you.
Do it. Everyone do a round of applause for Jim. Yeah. Okay. Present him out here. Okay. And go.
Thank you for your patience. It is not New Age Geeks without technical difficulties, apparently. Good evening, adventurers, and welcome to today's episode of GoodBerry Cafe. GoodBerry Cafe is the little warm cafe where everyone is welcome to come in and pull up a chair. Today we're serving up a cup of inspiration, so I hope you'll come in and stay a while. My name's Jem, and I will be your host. And for anyone who is new here, GoodBerry Cafe is an interview show where I'll be chatting with guests who have a variety of different geeky, nerdy, artistic hobbies and passions about the things that they do, the things that they love, things that they create, and the communities they're a part of, and how all of those things work together to impact their lives and others' lives positively. The show is a warm, safe, inviting space where we invite you, our listeners, to learn about these various hobbies and activities and maybe just learn about a new adventure for you to try out. So this evening, I am happy to introduce you to someone you may have seen at a convention or a Dungeons and Dragons live play stream, Lemar the Con Guy, who's an all-around entertainer for nerdy and geeky fandoms. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about conventions, Dungeons and Dragons, karaoke, and what being an entertainer means to him. So, Lemar, thank you so much for joining me today. Before we jump in, would you mind introducing yourself?
Sure. Top of the morning to you. Last is both and neither. My name is Lemar the Con Guy. That's Lemar the Con Guy. You can find me on all social medias as Lemar the Con Guy, or go to the link tree, linktr.ee/Lemar the Con Guy. I am a whatever you want me to do. Be singer, comedian. I've acted not well, but I've done it. Producer, comedy producer, whatever. You can find me on so many things that I'll plug later. But thank you so much for having me at the GoodBerry Cafe. This is a lovely cafe. It's so cute. The music is bumping. You got flowers everywhere. This is a good cafe you got here, Jim. This is very nice.
Well, thank you. And speaking of all of the things that you're involved with, you have managed to make quite a name for yourself in the convention scene around here. I want to know your story. How did that come to be? Tell me about your journey.
Okay, so all of this started by complete and total accident. What ended up happening was a friend of mine at work back in 2016, a friend of mine at work was like, hey, you can get an AX real cheap. I know how to get you into Anime Expo. Like, I've never been to Anime Expo. I've never been to a convention, at least not in Los Angeles. So let's go to AX. I was like, sure. I went to AX. That friend ended up ditching me almost immediately as soon as I got there. But I ended up making my own friends and meeting up with other people. Long story short, the sun went down. I was chilling. I was exhausted. My friends was like, let's go to a comedy show. And I was like, sure, okay, that's a good thing to do. I like comedy, the Chucks, the Lolos. And we was just sitting in line. And then someone was like, does anyone want to be a part of a panel? Like, be a part of it. It was like, that sounds awesome. I could sit down and judge something. I thought I was simply going to judge the comedy. Nonetheless, I ended up accidentally entering the freaking competition. Never doing stand-up before. I've never done stand-up before. I've never done anything of any note before. Fast forward a little bit. I got to the finals, and I ended up winning the whole goddamn thing. Never doing stand-up before.
Oh my goodness.
Beating so many people, and that's when they put us in the big room. I think we had like 1,000 people or plus in that freaking room. Yeah, well, the place where Baby Metal was playing that year.
Yeah.
that freaking room. Anyway, I ended up winning that, and then I made some friends from there, and then I ended up going to Anime Los Angeles on a whim one day. Met some good friends, Andrew Landi, Utsuma Cosplay. Tato Princess, and it just started rolling off from there because people knew me from a comedy. And then I just was like, hey, I'll do anything you guys want. And then one year I did a class from Victor Frost about how to do panels because I didn't want to pay for going to conventions. And it's just kind of it's kind of spiraled down where I kept it professional. I did what I did. I developed stuff. I made friends, and now post-pandemic, now I do as many conventions as possible, just trying to reach out. This year alone, I think I've done like 12 or 13 conventions. I've been all the way back to North Carolina, where I'm originally from, for a convention. And now I'm just 2023. I'm just developing more interactive and fun panels so that people invite me. All of this is just so I don't have to pay for my vacation. That's all I'm trying to do.
I mean, it works.
It's so far.
So you said that was AX 2016. You said
2016 is when everything started going downhill.
Had you thought about doing comedy before then?
Not in any real capacity. I was so nervous because I loved comedy. I love joking and stuff. Like I did improv in high school and college and stuff like that, but I was never like, oh, I can never get on stage and talk to people. What if they hate me? Or what if I don't have anything to say? Or what if I'm just not funny and stuff like that? So it never occurred to me to even try. And then fire, being on fire will just make you do stuff. And now I've done a few stuff. I haven't done so much stuff after the pandemic, but before the pandemic, I was doing comedy shows at least once a month or so, trying to get my name out there and stuff like that. And it was so much fun. But yeah, no, before any of that shit, absolutely not. It was so terrifying. It's terrifying I still get nervous doing comedy because I don't know how to write anything. I don't write shit. I just go up there and start talking about whatever's on top of my brain. I have no prepared joke. Yeah, it's not good. That's why people's like, how do I get into comedy? It's like, don't do anything that I am doing because this is wrong. It's not sustainable at any way, shape, or form. But people tell me I'm funny. I made a bunch of friends who do comedy like all the time. They say, hey, I wish I had your talents. And I'm like, no, you don't. you need to be able to write. I appreciate being able to pull shit out my ass, but I have a big butt. And so I could pull a lot of stuff out of there. But if your butt is not that big, you have to think about when you're going to fart and stuff.
The secret comes out.
It just comes out very, very slowly and surely.
Do you remember anything that you managed to pull out for that first con, the time that you went?
Yeah. The joke that probably won me the whole thing was a throwaway joke. I didn't think anything about it. It was like, let me tell you how all this got started. One day my dad took me to McDonald's and he didn't stop. That was all I said. And they laughed for a good solid minute from that. And it was not planned at all. The day before the finals, I was actually sitting because I was so nervous because of the amount of people. The day before the finals, I actually sat in the karaoke room of Anime Expo. I didn't go to any panels. I didn't give a shit about exhibit hall. I just sat in the karaoke room because that's where I can balance myself and just was writing jokes all day. What could I riff off of? All day. That one joke, nothing on the page. Not one thing. But that's what kind of came up of it. And then, like, if you say anything about Dragon Ball Z, people laugh. It's just, you just start to learn how to read the audience and stuff like that. And I have a lot of fun doing comedy. Mm-hmm. The hardest thing is staying clean because I rely a lot on cursing and stuff like that. But like, it's great.
Do you have to stay clean for Anime Expo or?
Not AX, not a lot of the late night stuff, but sometimes I'll do like marketplace stuff where it's just during the day, where sun up to about 8 o'clock, and then you still see parents with their bright-eyed, bushy-tailed little children going, "This is amazing!" And I don't want to talk about all the interesting animes I've seen and how it made me feel and the adult content stuff in their face. I don't want them to have their awakening in my face. So I always have to go like, "Who? What about those Genshin Impact characters, huh?" Woo woo.
That I love it. That is such a crazy first con experience, though. Like,
yeah, it is.
did you manage to do? You said you were in the karaoke room pretty much the whole day before the finals. Did you manage to do anything else at that convention?
After what the shit did I do? Okay, the first day I got my badge. I walked around. I looked at Artist Alley and was like, I'm too broke for any of this shit. I don't have $40.
It's fun to look at, though.
It is super fun to look at. I looked at stuff. I went to the arcade. But let me tell you, I'm going to be honest with you. The rest of that con was a blur. Like, I remember getting my badge. I remember walking Artist Alley. But like, 2016 was purely the moments of getting to the finals and preparing for the finals, which took my entire weekend. And I was so exhausted just from the anxiety and the love of it that I didn't go back Sunday at all. I stayed at home and I had nothing to say. I was dying. So I can't tell you anything more about AX that year, but I can tell you that I've been involved in that comedy show. It's called the Late Comedy Showdown. I've been involved every year because 2016 I won it. The winner goes to judge 2017, and then I've been producing it since 2018. So it's been my show since 2018. I love the show so much. It's bringing so many good people. I've made so many solid friends from it. Like even Jim, you. For those who don't know, me and Jim knew each other before this. You're kind of a branch of everything that came out of that. And so I'm so happy and so grateful just to be able to say like I lucked into a group of friends because I made a mistake.
Not a mistake. Happy accident.
Happy accident. Tripping up, baby. Trip up.
So you've managed to pretty much figure out ways to get into conventions by becoming more involved in them. But what beyond winning a comedy competition at your first convention, what makes you fall in love with conventions?
It is so much fun. It is 3 days of hyper focus on one thing where everyone just wants to have fun. And you can find your own group of people. Like if you're looking for problems at an anime convention, you'll find them. But for me, I'm just trying to have fun, and I've found that in my little niche in conventions is interactive events, right? I'm not going to sit up there for an hour and a half and tell you why Japan has toilets that spray water up your butt. I'm not going to do that. Those are not my things. My stuff is like, let's do karaoke. Let's teach you about comedy. Let's try to make you laugh. I do a panel now where it's just me and my comedian friends trying to get you to laugh for 3 minutes. And the longer you go, you win a prize. And I'm developing anime Family Feud and getting stuff like that so that you walk away with something. And it's so much fun. I even teach panels about karaoke, the history of karaoke, getting started with karaoke, black screens of karaoke, anything like that. And that's just everything that I do. And it's so much fun.
That's awesome. I'm a huge
Oh yeah. Oh, I hate talking head panels. I hate talking head panels too much. Not to talk. It's one thing that anyone who's ever known me will know that I absolutely detest talking head panels, where it's just someone up there talking about how doing nothing but just straight talking, and like my brain dies. Like I would rather go do something. Don't tell me what a sword is. Let me hold it. Let me hit something with it. Let me try to chop this bamboo in half. That's my kind of thing.
um, so talking about karaoke, your love for karaoke, did that start before conventions or
Wildly before. Wildly
really?
before. So karaoke was one of the few things before I did comedy or any of this stuff that I thought I had any form of skill at. Um, I've always liked singing. I was always okay at singing, but like karaoke is the first thing that like people knew me for. Uh, trying not to like toot my own horn, but I was well known in the karaoke scene in Los Angeles area because I would go to karaoke like 4 or 5 times a week,
Wow.
anywhere I could, and so I would sing, and then I didn't give a damn what I was singing. I would sing everything from Journey to Barry White to Barry Manilow. I was known for singing Adele for a hot second there. I'll sing Celine Dion every once in a while. I remember one time I sang Celine Dion so well. This little old white lady from Minnesota was like, "I didn't know black people could sing that song." I was like,
Oh my
"Yes,
goodness.
welcome to Los
No.
Angeles, woman." It was great. I blew her mind. She had a whole epiphany about racism because I sang Celine Dion on key. It was great.
No.
It was 100% true. 100% true. Blew her mind.
Changing the world.
That's what I do, baby. I change the world with one song at a time. And I like to share this with other people because a lot of people get nervous about singing in public or doing
Yes.
anything in public. And so I try to tell them, like, one, most of the time people don't give a shit. They don't care what you're doing once you're done. Two, if you're comparing your voice to Beyonce's voice, you're about 20 years behind of all the training she's had. You should just get up and enjoy. And also, have you ever been to karaoke and listened to somebody who's really, really good and they know they're really, really good? I hate those fucking people. Get your ass on American Idol. Sit the fuck down. I need someone who's like a little off, a little bit off. I'd rather
Yeah.
have someone who's goddamn terrible and having a great time and watch them burn. It was so great.
Uh, and to everyone, we are working on fixing it. Okay, looks like we have fixed the screens. So
Yay.
awesome.
I have the stream up on another thing and I can see what's going on. It's tech gremlins. It happens. It happens. As long as we can podcast this thing, I don't give a damn. We're good.
Yep. And to everyone watching, if you haven't heard Lemar sing karaoke before, you're really missing out.
I I I put my whole soul into it. I've always had this like nightmare that my doctor's like, "Hey, you gotta stop singing." It's like, nope. I'm gonna rent a karaoke booth and destroy this thing. I'm gonna sing this voice to the ground if that ever happened.
I I remember earlier this year at Anime Riverside, you
Yeah.
owned that karaoke room.
Singing My Heart Will Go On. Yes, I did.
Yes.
Oh, that karaoke room was lit. They poured those drinks a little too heavy, but yeah, no,
Uh,
it's great. It's one of the few things that I know I'm proficient at. Like everything else, I'd be like, I'll have to pretend like maybe I'm not so good or ooh, thank you. Like karaoke, I'm like I know what I'm doing.
mhm. What's your okay, if you had to name just one, what is your go-to karaoke song?
Shit.
You
Uh
had to know this question was gonna come with the
I guess I
karaoke.
should because it's always different. If if I'm having a good vocal day, like I don't have any scratches and I've warmed up a lot, Separate Ways by Journey is my go-to karaoke song because it's loud, It's in your face. It's not "Don't Stop Believing" because everyone's like, "Oh, don't stop
I'm done.
believing." Who cares?
No, I'm so done with that.
Yeah,
Thank
everyone's
you.
done with it. You know what? Everyone's done with it, but no one sings it anymore. You know what song is my "Don't Stop Believing"? "Sweet Caroline."
Yeah.
I wish people would stop singing that. I will put that and Bohemian Rhapsody are my two no's. Thank you.
Get it
But
out of here.
I hate it. But Separate Ways by Journey, it has some high notes, it has some power behind it. Actually, 2 weeks ago, I was feeling pretty down about myself. I was like, I'm a fraud, blah, blah, blah. And so I found a random karaoke bar I've never been to near my house. I walked in there, it was a packed house. I kept to my corner. I ordered a beer, signed up for a song. They called me, no one in here. I sang the song, brought the house down, and walked out right after I was done. It was great. It's my favorite thing to do. It's just to go to a random place, sing and leave, and just leave. What the hell just happened? It was great. It was the best.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. What do you think makes like the karaoke room at a convention different than karaoke rooms in the wild?
Karaoke rooms at conventions are generally people who are just there to have a solid good time listening to the music in karaoke, because the thing about karaoke, at least for me, is that there's a camaraderie immediately in karaoke, because you'll hear someone start a song and be like, oh my god, I love this song, oh my god, it's been so long since I've heard this song, and it's people just light up immediately when the song gets started. And then if you do it with any form of like skill, or you hit the right parts of a song, because there's certain parts of a song that's like the part, like "I Will Always Love You" by Whitney Houston, you can mess up the entire first part, but if you hit the end, people will lose their goddamn mind. It is a full, and when you're at an anime convention, and most of the time these people are sober, they're just there for the love, and they're there for the passion. Karaoke in other places, they're there for the love as well, but they also have they're meeting up with friends. They're trying to find a potential partner for an indiscriminate amount of time. They're outside smoking every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So there's still some love, but there's a lot of other things going. Karaoke at an anime convention is all about camaraderie, and I've run karaoke where there's a guy who was there. There's been people at karaoke from the time it starts to the time it ends. I'd run it for 4, 5, 6 hours, and they're like, "I'm here for karaoke. This is what I do at night." And I'm like, "Let's go, let's go!" And especially when I hear like the younger people still listening to. So I heard someone do Limp Bizkit a couple of months ago. I'm like, "Who are you? Who do?" This is I haven't heard Rolling in 10 years. Where did you come from? And it was these kids, these I want to say about at least 18, 19 at best. I'll call them kids because I'm in my 30s, but whatever. Still, what 18 and 19-year-olds know who the heck Rolling from Limp Bizkit is? That's not a song for the ages. It's just anyway, I over answered your question.
I love it. And I have to ask, since you've been to so many conventions, do you have a favorite, a must go?
For those of you who are running conventions in the chat, or who might watch this later, don't
Don't get
take this.
offended.
Don't get offended.
Yeah.
My favorite convention, hands down, is Anime Los Angeles, because I call that my home con, and that's the one. I love ALA. I call that my home con because it's the first. They're the first con to ever make me a guest. They made me a guest. They treated me nicely. They taught me how to do panels. I took my panel 101 class from Victor Frost at Anime Los Angeles. So many of my voice acting friends, so many of my friends are a part of ALA. And also, ALA is right in that in between of being bigger than a small time con, but not destroyed by corporate hangups of a big, massive son of a bitch. Like, if I wasn't a part of AX as part of their staff doing game shows and the comedy stuff, I probably want to do AX as much as I do respect AX for what it is, but it's just too big. There's not a solid community. It's very flat. And I could say the same thing about San Diego Comic Con because I went for the first time this year. It's too goddamn big. But I absolutely ALA because it's right in that community spot, and just I know the people who run it, and I know the people who want to go with it, and I just like that community. And they've had one or two incidences that is not the con itself didn't have that many incidences, but there's a few incidences where the people who went to the con did some crazy shit, but nothing compared to so many other conventions of bigger and smaller. So I'm like that. So ALA is my favorite, and hands down. And then everything else, I still love everything else, but ALA is still my home con, and I will, as long as I have breath and want to, I'll always go back. Like, I tell my boss every year. I take ALA off as soon as they announce their dates. I tell my boss immediately, I'm taking this week off right after Christmas. And I remember threatening, like, I'll quit. I don't give a damn. You're not 6 months in advance. You better make this work.
Yeah. I also love ALA. It's my favorite.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Definitely a home con.
Yeah.
So with all the panels that you've hosted, do you have a favorite panel?
Oh man, that's a good question. There's something in my heart about my karaoke panels. I do karaoke 101 and karaoke 102. 101 is all about just getting you started doing karaoke. The history of karaoke, how to sign up for karaoke, how to use a mic, different type of song genres, and also breaking down the idea that I can't sing. I try to tell everybody, anyone can sing. You just can't sing everything, right? Adjust your goddamn expectations. And then karaoke 102 is your Karaoke 102 is your baby's first vocal lesson, right? Bring it from your diaphragm. Loosen up your neck. What vocal range are you? Very basic, very simple. If you've ever taken a choir class, you know all this already. But some people haven't. They have a lot of fun. But my favorite panel, hands down, is a panel that was gifted to me by a friend of mine. And that panel is called Make Weebs Laugh. And it's that panel I talked about earlier where someone comes up, they have 3 1-minute rounds, and me and my friends just try to get them to laugh. And they're on stage, the lights on them, and we can do anything, but we can't talk, we can't touch them, we can't like spit on them or anything like that. And then I just try to get them to laugh. And the audience loves it. We love it. The first year I did it was at Anime Los Angeles. Of course, we were in the lounge, the 21 lounge, and it was dying. We had cops laughing. The Ontario cops were having a great time. And I was like, that's nerve-wracking, but awesome. And all sorts of shit happened. And it's been a hit every year we've done it. And then my favorite one of those shows is I forgot to tell Anime Expo that the show is supposed to be 18 plus. I forgot to tell them that. So they booked it as an all ages show. And so when I looked at the audience and saw these bright-eyed, bushy-tailed children going, yay, fun, I had to look at my comedians and go, okay, PG-13. PG-13. And while all the adults in the audience, everyone in that show was laughing for a completely different reason. The kids were laughing because they liked watching us struggle, and they was really like into the game show. The adults loved it because they saw us struggling desperately to not make our usual jokes in front of these children. And but yeah, that's my favorite show. It's done well everywhere we've brought it to. And I'm still pimping out everywhere it goes. The comedians hate it because it's 3 minutes of struggle. It's hard for a comedian not to get a laugh. But it's not that no one's enjoying it. It's just part of the game, but it's a lot of fun.
Oh man, I would be the absolute worst at that game. I laugh I just laugh at everything.
That's why we'd pick you immediately.
I would
pick you immediately.
No, not fair.
Dude, earlier this year we did it, and with mask on, which was the hardest freaking. I'll never do that again. But we got this
Probably
one
not.
lady. We gave her 4 chances to get through one round. Don't laugh. She couldn't do it. Every
That'd
time
be me.
we'd say 1, 2, go, and she would immediately start laughing. Like it was so much fun.
Sounds so fun. And because
Oh,
laughing
yes.
is so contagious too, I'll have to check that out next time we're at a con and I see that pop up.
Absolutely. It's a great show.
Just don't pick
Well,
me.
I'm picking you
I
immediately.
know.
Are you out of your mind? Heck yeah. If we need a palate cleanser, I'm picking you.
No. uh I
Oh
do want
god.
to switch gears a little bit because I've seen you on a lot of different posters for some tabletop RPG games. Um, so I want to talk a little bit about tabletop before we run
Oh, you
out of
want to talk
time
about
today.
tabletop on a
I
tabletop
do.
panel? Oh, okay.
um, so as I mentioned, I've seen you on a lot. It seems like you've been on fire, and it seems like you're super busy with tabletop games. Can you tell me a little bit about how that is going for you?
This is the luckiest thing that's ever happened to me, ever hands down. It's just one of those things where you do one show, and then that show recommends you for another show, and that show recommends. There's a lot of nepotism in tabletop RPGs, but that's a joke. That's a joke. Calm down. But that's essentially what's happened right now. Over the pandemic, like the most of us, I was at home. I didn't have a job, and so I did have nothing to do. And so I heard like there's tabletop online and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, that's a really cool idea. And so I started doing some stuff. I started on Soul Bear RPG. I was in 1 or 2 shows for them, and then when those shows started dropping off, I joined other groups, and now blah blah blah, rolling. There's tabletop everywhere now, and I just join random shows. I go to the casting, they book me, and they say, "Hey, you're really funny." I'm like, "I bloody try," and they just keep adding me to stuff, and then I'm lucky just to know really cool people. Like the people who run the DAT network, they also work with Paizo, and so they put me on stuff like that, which I'm like, are you sure you want to put me on this show? My play? Okay. And they just keep casting me and stuff, and then I'll someone else will join me. It's like, hey, do you want to be a part of this? You want to be part of that? And I'm like, if I have the time, I'll be a part of it. And so far, I've had so much fun in doing stuff, especially for the charity stuff I do, like a Creators Assemble um who like, hey, do you want to DM something? I'm like, sure. Do you want to DM Black Panther? I'm like, sure. Who's gonna be on it? The most amazing cast you've ever seen before in your fucking life. I was like, what? What happened? I thought this was gonna be chill. Like, nah, dog, bring your A game. And that show happened. I loved it so much. But now, yeah, everything's just rolling. And I'm just trying to have fun. My only tabletop goal, I have one tabletop goal. I just want to go to the uh what's that big one? The one with all the voice actors. The one that has like one black person every 3 episodes. Critical Role. I want to go on Critical Role and just say, shut up, Matt Mercer. I want to do that. That's my whole once I can do that, I can quit. I just want to say, shut up, Matt Mercer. And then I can quit. I have nothing against them. I just want to have that moment. I want to put on Instagram and then I'll ride around the sunset. Just like a cowboy he voices.
Oh man, you're killing me.
Small goals. Small
Yeah,
goals. And if I have to
small manageable
climb
goals.
slowly, small manageable goals. If I have to climb up, I'll do it. I'll do it.
I was gonna say it doesn't seem like you're that far right now. I mean, I saw you do a Roll20 thing, a Paizo.
Roll
The
20
team
with
for
eyes.
that Creators Assemble show last week was an awesome
Wow.
group.
Good
Wow.
God. Oh, Jade, Cher, Utahime, Marquita, all of those people were fantastic, and also that game was really really fun. I've already told Chris Assemble and everyone that's I'm like I want to play that again. But yeah, my degrees of separation from my overall goal is getting smaller and smaller by the day. Um, but yeah, that's what I'm doing, and all of it's just having fun. I'm having fun doing stuff. I try not to do anything. I don't like doing anything that seems like a chore, right? Like I'm sure anyone who's been in the tabletop RPG space knows that there's just some streams I'm like, this is not working. This is a goddamn chore. I'm like, I just don't. But I've been very lucky. I haven't had too many of those, but everything's just it's just so much fun creating, and especially now that tabletop has become way more of the RP and character driven storylines where your dice just allows the answer of no versus an allowance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong, I do miss a good dungeon run. I want to make a character that can punch hard and take a lot of hits and let's just enter a dungeon. I do have moments I want to do that, but it's a lot of fun where I'm just improvising with people, especially when I've DM'd a game where my characters are just having a whole conversation about something that is happening, about to happen in character, and it's really interesting to watch. And then
Mm-hmm.
reminding them that time exists and then hitting them with a rock. It's great. It's You got to remember time exists. That's the one thing
Oh
I told
yeah.
DMs is like, how do I get my characters to move forward? Remind them that shit moves. Whether they're moving or not, the rest of the world's moving. Put in consequences. Hit them with a rock. Make the ground fall out of them. Do stuff that if they're being distracted, make sure they're punished for it. You know.
Yep. We learned that the hard way on this channel on our show, Forging Faiths, where
What happened? What happened?
we went after, or we chose not to go after a bad guy, and then suddenly there was consequences to that. I don't want to spoil it in case anyone
Yep.
isn't caught up, but yeah,
Make sure
we
you go
we had a
back and
rude
watch that.
awakening.
You got it. Look. So first thing, I hate my character wouldn't be with this group people. Like you made a bad character. And
Yeah.
second thing, all right, F around and find out. And you found out. Great. It's the best.
So were you playing in tabletop games before the pandemic, or did it just really ramp up for you during the pandemic?
I played a little bit before the pandemic. The pandemic definitely ramped it up. My very first tabletop actually was I'm gonna call it the original or the Green Book of Vampire the Masquerade.
Wow.
Yeah, I played a Toreador because of course I did. And that was way back when. And then Vampire was not an easy one to be your first, let me tell you. But when I moved to Los Angeles, I met some friends, and then they taught me how to play Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, my very first D&D character was a cleric. He was a bad cleric. He died. Most of my clerics died. But I got hooked in like way back when, about 10, 12, 13 years ago. God, I'm old. Well, older. But anyway, I remember we would have 24-hour nights where we'd play 2 or 3 campaigns all night or so.
Wow.
We'd make it about 16, 17 hours, but like it was still a lot of fun where you just switch DMs and keep playing, get pizza and stuff. But yeah, we did that. We were doing that regularly for about a year or two, and then like as everything with tabletop scheduling changed and stuff like that. But I've always had the love in it, and then pandemic everything ramped up, especially with D&D Beyond, which was the greatest thing I've ever seen. Making character creation so streamlined and makes sense and stuff like that. It makes it one of those things where like any rules heavy system needs to have a character creator nowadays because it's so much to remember. And now that we're in this RP heavy tabletop world, let's start streamlining stuff like that. there's more rule of cool. And also I think that's why we're getting more TTRPGs that's less dice heavy and more play heavy and stuff like that. But I don't know. I'm one of those people that thinks no's are very important in these games as well as many as yeses, because everyone knows improv is yes and that's amazing. But sometimes the no's is what creates a good conflict and a good story. Because every story is about what's preventing the hero's journey from being yes, what's causing the no's in their story, and those are the really interesting things.
Mhm.
I love how every comedian goes on a podcast and becomes a goddamn philosopher of life. It's like, and then half of their content's fart jokes, which is exactly what I'm doing right now.
No, I love it. I do want to ask about the cleric choice as your first character. Why?
Yeah.
Why cleric?
Why cleric? Okay. 3.5. This is 3.5 D&D, all right? A lot of stats. It was not very forgiving. You people who got started 5e, you don't know the pain and the torture it was to create a 3.5 character.
I do not.
Anyway, it's because what I really wanted to do is I wanted to raise the dead. I wanted to be a necromancer. And the DM at the time was like working with me on trying to like get my dreams to come true. It's like, well, if you want to be a necromancer and still be useful, you can be a cleric, and eventually you'll be able to do that. And so I made a lawful evil cleric,
Wow.
which was the healer of a good group. But yeah, he was not, because 3/5 is evil. If you're a lawful evil cleric, you don't get healing spells. You have to prepare healing spells. You get damaging spells. And so I would waste all my spells on healing spells because I was a bad cleric. And he would be in the wrong place. And I didn't put enough armor on him. But now that I know what I'm doing, I do like cleric because they are everyone says bard is the most versatile class. It's the goddamn cleric. Okay, here's the thing. If you want to make a nightmare scenario, make it oops all clerics game. You will never lose. You'll never lose. 5 clerics, you win. I don't care what you're doing. You win. You win the game. You can't kill 5 clerics.
Interesting.
I can kill 5 bards. Very easy.
Yeah. Huh.
But yeah, I just like cleric. It's that in between melee and spellcasting. Because wizard, I haven't played a wizard yet because I hate being squishy, and they require too much reading, and reading is not fun to my mentals. And but that's why I tried to make a necromancer and failed terribly. But now
did you get to the point where you could?
No, he died.
He died before that. So it wasn't even.
He died way before that. Oh yeah, no. He was actually, what's messed up? He got resurrected by someone who could raise the dead into a zombie. That's what happened. It was terrible. Oh, he got killed by an orc. One freaking real orc, not half, real. Bam! Instant death. It was not even close.
Oh my gosh.
Oh god.
I love it.
Yep.
But it definitely seems like you started on a hard mode when it comes to tabletop with like jumping into vampire first. So you played a lot of different tabletop games. Do you have a favorite? Is it D&D or is it another game?
Oh, that's such a simple question that I can't answer. I will say, if I had to play one, it would be Vampire the Masquerade, simply because I absolutely adore their merits and flaws system. When you build a character in VTM, you give them special abilities based on the merits and flaws they have. Rather, I have a lot of money, or I have some powerful influence, and then the flaws would be like, my teeth aren't sharp enough to pierce skin. I'm actually afraid of running water and garlic. I won't feed from X type of people, whether women, children, ex-cons, blah, blah, blah. And the merits make a really cool character, but your flaws are what creates your kind of real cool dynamic, and I love that system so much. Um, my soapbox about that is that the merits and flaws are much better in the original Vampire Masquerade, or at least the Green Book, I should say, versus the latest one, which is still good, but they're way too forgiving. Like the old ones, some of those flaws jack you up. But VTM is also way more story driven. It's more political intrigue. It's more hierarchies and making friends and enemies and stuff like that versus Dungeons and Dragons, which at the core is hitting shit. Which is a lot of fun. A lot of heart for Dungeons and Dragons in there. I love D&D. I still pay for D&D, but now that I'm playing a lot of Pathfinder, I'm finding that in between Vampire and D&D within Pathfinder. Because Pathfinder 1 has bigger numbers, and bigger numbers means happy. But their character creation is a little bit more unique and open and stuff like that. They have really interesting like race options, and they have a vast number of class options and stuff. Like they have your traditional fighter, monk, wizard, sorcerer, and stuff like that. But in Pathfinder, they have things called uh, witches, and then they have witches and stuff. It's like your wizard druid hybrid. And I like the Friday game I play a puppet witch. I am a puppet. I am a 1 foot puppet that is sentient and is a witch.
Whoa,
And he has a
that's
little
super
tinker
cool.
toy. Oh, it's really cool. I also am terrifying.
Yeah.
My entire time was to be as terrifying as possible. But yeah, but Pathfinder does have a lot of. It's not as streamlined as D&D. I would always tell people if you're very brand new into tabletop RPGs and you want to roll dice and you want to know what that feels like, go into D&D because it has a lot of tools for easy entry now.
Mhm.
Pathfinder's starting to get those tools. They're still a little wonky.
Yeah.
Vampire the Masquerade, not easy to start. It's just not. But that one is like creating the character is a pain in the ass. But once you have your sheet, it doesn't move much. Getting more powers and stuff is not easy. You don't level up as quickly. But once you get it, and then you understand what you're good at.
Mhm. Yeah, I'll agree with the Pathfinder. I once create a Pathfinder character, and I was very intimidated. It was I had no idea what I was doing.
Oh, wait till you start playing Cyberpunk.
Oh, no.
Cyberpunk's a whole different beast. And if anyone tells you to play Shadowrun, I hope you like math. I hope you like math because Shadowrun is the most mathy system. Oh my god. I had to have like 30 D6s to play that game. And even then I didn't have enough.
What?
Yeah, it was ridiculous. But yeah, Cyberpunk is Shadowrun 5e. It's way more streamlined, but still mathy as fuck. If you create a real character, they have streamlined ways of doing it, but like Cyberpunk's really cool. Anyway,
It's on the list, so that's good to know.
it is on the list. It's fun. I like the world and stuff like that. A lot of the Cyberpunk streams I've been seeing are very much RP, rule of cool type thing.
Mhm.
Um,
My
but
favorite.
once it's a lot of character building early on if you really want to go from start to finish of building, which is
Mhm.
cool, but it's a lot.
Yeah. So other than the puppet game, what games are you currently playing in?
Okay, so
Where to start, right?
where to start? This coming Tuesday on Crazy Assemble, I am playing a Griff, a Space Jammer game where I'm playing a Griff. His name is Reginald Greatbottom. I basically made Teddy Roosevelt as a hippo man with a gun. And that's
Yes.
all he wants to do is hunt and shoot. Shoot and hunt. He's having a great time. He says, "Oh, you have great skin." um, we just finished Leverage TTRPG, which is based on the show Leverage, and works on the Cortex action system.
Ooh,
Where I played
nice.
Ukwele. He was our local hacker and stuff like that. And I'm in IT, so that was pretty easy to do. Fridays, I am on Pathfinder. I'm playing Pathfinder on the Dat Network, which is my puppet Franklin. He wants to be friends. He wants to hug everybody, and he definitely doesn't have a dark side. There's nothing wrong with Franklin. And Nuvarian, which will be on Wednesdays coming up. Uh, I am holding that back because we haven't played it. It's a whole new system. People don't know much about it, so I can describe it to you. All you need to know is that they are blue, dabba dee dabba die. Uh, and sometimes on official Paizo, I join them for Pathfinder Heroic Endeavors, where I play Khan Shaka from the Shaka clan. He likes bears, and that's his entire personality. He likes bears. He has a bear friend named Barry. His name's Barry because I found him in the woods eating berries. And I was like, "You're a bear and you're eating berries, so I'm gonna call you Barry because you're Barry the bear." Yay! And
Thank goodness.
that's his entire character. That's his entire character arc. I don't give a damn. That's it. I love them. And then I have a bunch of off-stream games and stuff like that. I made one Echo Knight. Her name is Nana Maisel. She's a 250-year-old elven woman. And she gives people butterscotch, and she's a nice old granny, but she will also shoot you in the dick, and it makes her so happy. Her claim to fame is she shoved an immovable rod up a horse's ass because
Oh
the
my
horse was
goodness.
attacking people, and it would stop the horse, and it did. Horse can't move with an immovable rod in his ass. You solved the problem. And her claim to fame was, men be putting their immovable rods in places they are unwanted all the time. I do it one time, and now I'm the bad guy. And so that's her claim to fame.
Oh my gosh.
And that's all the games I know about.
That's a lot.
Not a little.
So where do you come up with your characters from? Do you create them? Okay. Yeah, where are they coming from? Because
so way back in ye old early days, I would take days upon days and think of deep and illustrious backstories. It's like, oh, he had a dad who told him about this great treasure, and to make his parents proud, he would go out, but he had to do all this and that, and it'd be pages upon pages of backstory. Nowadays, I think of one thing: what do I want to do? Do I like Khan Shaka from the Shaka Khan? I had a friend who really liked bears, and so I made a character based on them. um, the Griff I made in Spelljammer. They made hunting hippos, and so I made Teddy Roosevelt. When I make a character, it's basically, for me, it's just about like, what caricature can I play, and then as I actually play and move with them, I will add more backstory and develop them a bit more to make them a bit more human. But the one thing I like to play is I like to play that missing piece in the group, because a lot of groups have like, I want to hit things, I want to heal things, I'm a druid hippie. I'll find that one place that's missing, and I'll just plop myself into there and create characters. I also like being the challenge character where I'll like, uh, hey, maybe we shouldn't burn down the whole town, or hey, did you ever think capitalism is the real problem here when they're looting pockets? Like, but that's kind of what I do. I just kind of plot myself into being kind of the foil of the group while still like maintaining fun and not distracting too much. But yeah, my characters just come about whatever it's big. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you're struggling coming up with characters, play the goddamn character they give you. If you want to play a fighter, play a dude who likes to fight. If you're playing a healing cleric, I like to heal things. It's so they give you a character. You don't have to fight it. You can just go into it. Everyone wants to be like, I'm reluctantly what I am. No, sometimes you're just a goddamn healing cleric. Enjoy that shit. And then you'll find a character afterwards. Druids. I like trees and shit. I went to the woods and stayed there. And now this is dope. That's all you have to do with character choices. It doesn't have to be this big thing because at the end of the day, the story is going to change your character anyway. Wherever it started with, it will end with. Unless your DM does shit like Critical Role was like, the story is about your childhood trauma. I'm like, okay, that person needs to have a full flesh. But me in the back, who is the barbarian, I have an axe that wants to land in people's appendixes.
Have you ever created a joke character that through playing ended up getting a very serious like character development story?
Yeah, let me tell you about a rodent named Slickback.
Yes,
Named Slickback I made for a one shot that I did on Creators Assemble, and it was just supposed to be trash animals like rodents, possums, stuff like that. I made a rodent named Slickback. He is a warlock, and all of a sudden, his entire life was just to get people to know how awesome this old person that was giving him nuts at the forest was, and spreading that word and he got all his power from this little old person giving them his nuts, and that's how he became a warlock. And at the end of that one shot, he actually got a whole squirrel army to try to take down the city just for this one person. From a joke, a rodent named Slickback. That was great.
That's amazing.
That was amazing.
I love stuff like that.
Yes, I love
Do you have any character concepts in the back burner that you want to play but you haven't played yet?
What character concepts do I have left? Oh, yes. I have an Echo Knight. I have an Echo Knight in my D&D ready to go. His name is Jonathan Harvey. There's nothing wrong with him. He doesn't have a tragic backstory. His family loves him very much. They're doing just fine. He's adventuring just because his family needs a little bit more money because the grain didn't come in that summer. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's all he's just a fighter. He's just a big corn-fed country boy. And that's he is, why are you here? It's like, I need money. Like, mom, pa need money. And that's what I'm doing here. It's like, okay, like, punch this dragon. All right. That's just, and I love it. Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't need to be this big, because someone once told me, like, sane people don't go adventuring. It's like, this is true, but what if one did? And so Jonathan Harvey is ready to just be a good old boy and get some money from mom and pa.
I feel like I'd fall in love with him.
Good dumb boy. Good dumb boy.
So do you have a setting that you would like to play in or DM, but you haven't yet?
Oh, Spelljammer. I haven't. I want to DM a Spelljammer game because I like space, because between, and I know they're problematic now, but between Firefly and Star Trek and stuff like that, the idea of D&D in space allows for so many interesting stories to be told that yes, they have the modules that are going to come out, but the homebrew ideas are really interesting. What happens if your ship is just lost in space? Like, you can pull from Dead Space, you can pull from Star Wars, you can pull from all sorts of stuff like that, and just using the Spelljammer mentality. And I really want to run some stuff like that. I just haven't found, one, the time,
right,
and two, the right group, because I want to introduce Spelljammer to more newbies. I love my veteran players, and playing with them can be a really fun experience. But sometimes as a DM, when you play with veteran players, you have to do so many swerves. You have to change so many things. With newbies, you can just say, "Here's a kobold," and they'll go, "What the fuck is a kobold?" And they'll panic. And so, yay, let's go! Like I can get that rush easier with them. But I'm just time right now. Right now, the thing is time because I didn't know that my next week and a half is all filled up until I thought about it before this bloody thing.
I mean, at least it's playing fun games.
Oh, it's a lot of fun.
But
Yeah, it's nothing but fun. But
don't
still,
worry,
though, like,
don't burn yourself out.
I had no promises. I almost did 18 panels one year at Anime Los Angeles. Don't talk to me about burning out. Can't burn me out. I'm the burn, baby.
Oh my goodness. uh, so when did you start GMing? DMing? I never know what to call it, GM or DM. But
I don't. It's always based on what system you go. Who
yeah,
tricked me into doing this shit?
you got
Um,
tricked.
I got tricked. I did. When did I start DMing? Oh, oh! It was the pandemic. It was the pandemic because, um, a lot of friends had nothing to do at home, and I was discovering how to play online a lot. And I was like, "Hey, do you want to learn about this cool new thing that I'm doing in the Dungeons and Dragons?" And they'll be yes. And so like I'd have to walk them. I'd go through character creations, like here goes a small encounter, so you can kind of understand how everything goes. And then that turned into me running a newbie group, and then that got me kind of hooked on DMing and stuff because I ran a newbie group through Curse of Strahd, and it was the greatest thing I've ever done. Um, and then I got a veteran group that's still playing with me. Um, and yeah, and then every once in a while, people's like, "Hey, do you want to DM this ID, that idea?" Because I hate reading, I'm not the best with following modules because there's so much information. But if you can let me make shit up, I'll make you a fantastic story if I don't have to read shit. So that's kind of what I do nowadays. So that's how
um,
I got started DMing, and now I'm slowly doing more and more. I DM'd the Pathfinder game without ever doing that before on stream on Paizo's actual channel. Was the first time I DM'd Pathfinder 2e, and man, do you want to know what burning looks like?
oh no, how did it go?
Oh, well, it wasn't the worst thing I've ever
Oh
done.
no.
But it was still
Oh.
fun because I had the people, the players with me. There was all experienced, and then their forever GM on that network was sitting right there next to me, who was able to feed me like, "Oh wow, this sounds really interesting. This sounds like it might be a perception check." I was like, "You know what? It does. Roll." So I got lucky that way.
Do you have any advice for new DMs now that you've been doing it for a little bit?
Uh, yes. Uh, fuck it. Like, no, really, like, fuck it. Like, at the end of the day, there's two things new DMs need to understand. And the first one doesn't happen as much nowadays, but used to happen way back in the day, especially with gatekeepers. You are also playing. You are not an adversary to the group, right? And so your job is to tell a story and provide enough conflict so that story is interesting, but you're also playing. So you don't need to like, "Oh, damn those players and their bullshit." Although there's sometimes the players pull bullshit. Like, what the? Anyway, in two, I don't give a damn what the module says. What you say is the rule. I don't care what the player handbook says. I don't care what the module says. I don't care what most of the rules say. What you say is the rule, right? And so you don't need to be too worried about like, no, it should be like this. If you have a reason to make that call, make that call. And sometimes, and everyone fudges rolls. Every DM who has ever DM'd has fudged a roll. Rather for good or evil, we all have done it. But it should always be for the sake of continuing a story, right?
Mhm.
Um, that's it. But most of it, and all that rolls down to fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Just do it. Just do it. Like everyone gets nervous. It's like, what if they don't like it? What if like? Don't worry about that. Your job is to tell a story and then drive the characters through that story through their own actions and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Oh, and also, if you give players the choice, they'll never pick the one you want them to. Don't. They don't.
I
It's like you
realized
can
that.
either stop the evil dragon or it can pick flowers. Which one would you like to do? How pretty are the flowers? God damn it. Well, so
So what do you do in that situation?
let them pick flowers, but make sure the dragon kills something. Like, well,
Consequences, right? Bringing it
yeah,
back.
consequences.
Yeah.
If your team decides to fuck up, like to mess around and not do the clearly dangerous thing, all right. When you get back, the town is dead. Like you can't sell your flowers anymore because the dragon killed the town. Congratulations, guys! You now have 20 beautiful flowers to put on everyone's grave.
Sorry. I love it. All right. All right. I got a follow up to this.
Yep.
Who would be sitting at your dream D&D table?
Oh,
The
fuck.
hard one.
My dream D&D table. All right. All right. Everyone's going to be feeling weird about this. I want a politician. I want like Barack Obama
Yes.
at the table. I want Barack Obama at my table. I'll take him. I want Barack Obama. I want to play with, let's say, I want a voice actor. Let's say I want Phil Lemar or Michael Keith Richardson, one of those two at my table. I think they'd be fun to play with. Um, I would also like to play with um oh god, Liza Minnelli would be amazing. Or Sarah Brightman. One of those two. I want Liza Minnelli or Sarah Brightman. If you don't know those, you don't listen to old musicals. It's Phantom of the Opera or Carousel, I think. Carnival. Fuck. Anyway, one of those two. And then the last one, I want Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Oh my gosh,
So
yes.
it's Obama, Phil Lamar, Liza Minnelli, and Dwayne the Rock Johnson. I think that would be the greatest table of all time. I want Obama to make a bad decision without to see how he can get around like, okay, so do we have to kill the dragon? Like, yeah, Obama, you have to kill the dragon. Cast magic missile, motherfucker. You've done it before. I want to see that. Actually, a table full of politicians would be amazing, even both sides. I just want to see what happens to see how they can weasel their way out of whatever current problems in front of them.
Oh
And I
my
want that
gosh.
shit to be streamed.
Yes, I support this. This has to
I would
happen.
I would do that so fast. I would immediately become target for half of America, no matter who's on that thing. But I would absolutely adore having politicians play Dungeons and Dragons because some decisions are not black and white. It's just
Mhm.
some are gray as shit. I think that'd be really interesting to see how they come up with solutions. And
I
not
wanna see
no
them.
earpiece, no earpiece. They
Yeah.
can't have their handlers telling them what to do. No, 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 no. You have to make this goddamn decision. Do you burn the village to save a child, or do you let the child die?
I think I'd wanna see them do their, like, persuasion rolls and use
Oh
their
yeah.
character's charisma, like, let's see it, like
Oh yeah. Oh, you know they would all make high charisma characters so they can get away with shit. Of course. Of course they would. A
Good.
group full of bards. Like, get the fuck away from me. All right. Everyone's deaf. Good luck.
I didn't know I needed to see this, but now it
Oh
has to
yeah.
exist.
AOC, Barack Obama, fuck Mitch McConnell, Ted Cruz. I'd watch that all day.
Yes, I wanna see AOC play. Yes.
Watch
Mitch
that
McConnell. Oh
all
my gosh.
day. Oh, Mitch McConnell playing an evil wizard would be the best thing. Oh,
Oh my goodness.
a
Yes,
lich.
this has to exist. A lich.
I I would love for him to play a lich.
Ooh,
He
perfect.
wasn't ready. I know it's the best idea, isn't it? It will never
Uh,
happen, but it's the best idea.
no, never say never, man.
I would eat my shoe.
Ah, perfect. Oh,
Yeah,
yes. I don't know how to follow that up.
it's a good question.
Yeah.
It's a good question.
Uh, so being that you have pretty much made, it seems like all of your free time, tabletop games, in some shape or form recently,
Mhm.
what would you say this world and tabletop playing games in general mean to you?
What does tabletop RPG world mean to me?
Mhm.
I just want to have fun with my friends. I just want to have fun with my friends because like so much so it's just want I just want to have I I'm one of those people who really like to see. Okay, this is what I'll say. When you're playing a character, whether you're acting, performing, whatever, it allows you to put on a safety mask. Oh goddamn philosophy comedian.
No, I love it. Yes.
It allows you to become maybe not a part of you, but an aspect that you can tap into where you can be more than you currently are, right? Rather, you are that big, strong hero. Maybe you are a flower child. Maybe you are just something like that. And then breaking away from your everyday persona and jumping into this, and then safely causing problems or resolving problems is so much fun. It's so much fun because like there's always those moments in every game where most of it's laughing and joyous and lol and ha ha ha. But excuse me, there's those moments of tragic and loss and stuff like that. And then you and your character and your friends and their characters can go through heavy emotion mostly safely, depends on your lines and veils, but in a way that we all like kind of and it's I think it's really just interesting to be able to do that because like a lot of people, especially like for anything like me, like absolutely no disrespect or like taking away from anything, but a lot of straight guys don't have emotions properly all the time. But
Mhm.
tabletops allows us to have a little bit of vulnerability, a little bit of leeway, and a safety net and stuff like that. And I think that's the same thing for a lot of people, but I can only speak for who I am and where I came from. And so
Mhm.
tabletop RPGs allows me to do stuff like that. And then there's some stuff that I do like for public and like when I'm on bigger networks and stuff like it's all about just having fun and being joyous and stuff like that. But house shows, smaller streams and stuff like that where you can mess with the things of it. It's really fun. And that's the whole thing about performance is being able to do things a bit more freely, which is 99% of all acting classes is stop being afraid to do it, which is
Mhm.
90% of all like it's improv and getting rid of your fear. If you ever taken an acting class, that's 90% of it. The
Mhm.
rest of it is maybe a little bit of technique, rev- getting back to that feeling, but most of it is just letting go of the fear.
Mhm.
Way too much for what you asked for.
No, no, that's perfect. Because I mean, I've been thinking a lot about like what the future of role playing games could be, like whether it's tabletop or LARPing. Um, and I was reading some things about I think they're called like Nordic LARPs, where there are these like really crazy situations of LARP. So they have it in Europe, and one was like a conversion camp LARP, and one was like LARPing the 4th of July in America.
That's
Um,
amazing.
but like
That
they do
second
these
one's
like
amazing.
wild situations, and I'm like, well, this this situation is allowing you to work through things or open up empathy towards situations you might not normally have even considered or thought about. Um, and I think that's awesome. So I think what you were saying is like it allows you a safe space to explore
Mhm.
maybe other parts of you, or parts that are totally unrelated to you. Like, what if I'm stepping into this other person
Yeah.
temporarily for a couple hours a week? Like, how would this? I think it's
I
awesome.
I I mean, I'm a big guy, yeah, so the likelihood of me doing a backflip is fucking low. But I like being able to do a backflip every once in a while. I was like, I just do 2 cartwheels and kick something out of the air. That sounds amazing, especially when it actually happens. But yeah, but with that said, I'm a big proponent of lines and veils nowadays. There, you
Mhm.
need to know where everyone's comfort level is and stuff like that. And I'm I'm learning as I get older what I think is okay and balanced, or what the general zeitgeist of a feeling is not always there, because I came up where my 20s was in the 20 aughts to 2010s, right? We're moving beyond that, so we need to understand everyone's, and there's a whole new generation that's entering into this hobby of ours that might have different viewpoints and stuff like that, and I just need to be a bit more aware of that stuff. Like, even if with the best intentions, you might slip into that every once in a while. So
Mhm.
blinds and veils are always very important to me in any game I play. So because you are exploring certain traumas.
Very true.
Yep.
Oh, I do want to ask the chat now if the chat has any questions. I'm gonna ask Lamar a couple more questions. But if you have questions for Lamar, I want you to start populating that in the chat.
Yeah.
Please ask away. Um, but before I jump into actually one thing I wanted to ask you about before we jump into the dicey
Sure.
question segment, can you tell me about your band?
Yes. I am in a we are a dance funk cover band called Radio Go. It's me and my three, four. There's 4 of us currently. We're looking for a singer and a keyboardist to join us, but we are singing anything to get people's bodies up. We'll sing "Your Love" by the Outfield. We'll sing "Pony," "Shut Up and Dance with Me," Prince and the Revolution. Oh yeah, I sing pony. I take my upper shirt off and grind on that microphone stand. Yes, I'll do it. And I'm currently the lead singer. Once again, we are still looking for a second singer in the LA area. But yeah, Radio Go, you can find us at radiogo.band, which goes to our link tree, which will have all of our social medias and stuff like that. Or if you just want to send us money, you can do that too. Um we are trying to find more gigs in the SoCal area right now. We're going to do a big push in 2023, so you'll see more stuff like that. We have some videos out on our social medias, but yeah, we're having a lot of fun, and we're always adding more and more songs to our repertoire and stuff like that. And yeah, finally, I'm in a band. I've been doing karaoke regularly for over 20 years, and now I am in a band.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I absolutely love it.
I can't wait. I want to hear your band.
You
I want to
should.
see your band live.
Yes,
Yeah.
make sure you follow our social medias or my social media, because I definitely will post when our next gig is. Hopefully, we'll get one before the end of the new year, and then it'll be party time.
I love it.
Yeah.
Um, that brings us to our next segment while we are waiting for some more questions from the chat, which is the dicey question segment of the show. Where I'm gonna roll this squishy d20 and ask you the corresponding question.
Bring it. Bring it on. Want to learn about my trauma?
First
Let's
roll.
go.
All right, so that's a 9. So the question for 9 is, if you could live in any fantasy world, which would you choose?
Shit. Any fantasy world?
Mhm.
that's appropriate on this channel? Man, Pokemon's real sad. Any fantasy world. Truck-kun is in too many of them. Ooh, any fantasy world. You know, Assassination Classroom. I think if I had
Really?
a giant alien that wanted to teach me, Assassination Classroom is Gangster's Paradise in Japan. It's the same story, and I think that'd
Quote
be
that.
amazing.
Quote that.
It's the same story. It is a big otherworldly creature comes to your class and say you can learn how to do math just like those other kids, and don't let anyone tell you. And if you don't, I'm gonna kill everybody here. It's the same story. Um, I think because all those kids. No, it's what's that? What's that guy? He's Savi. Anyway, Assassination Classroom. I think it's because everything else has too much. Pokemon doesn't have enough dads. Also, what food are you eating? Which Pokemon gets taken out? Why are there so many Pokemon? Are they sentient? Why do you? Is it okay to put sentient creatures that understand you in a small ball for all of eternity if you just don't pick them up? Why is it okay to make them fight each other?
I have so many questions about
10
Pokemon.
10
Yeah.
year olds are leaving home, going wherever. Ash has been to other continents. Ash's mom's the worst parental figure since every parental figure in in Full Metal Alchemist. All of them garbage. All of them in Full Metal's garbage. All of them.
I love it. I hope someone clips that quote about assassination classroom.
That's Gangsta's Paradise.
Yeah.
Same show.
All right, I'm gonna roll again. Let's see
Roll
what we got.
again.
Oops, I almost lost it. All right, that is a 5. All right,
We're only high today.
yeah. We got what's your favorite video game of all time, and what's your least favorite video game?
I can answer that easily. It's the same game. It's called Assassin's Creed. The entire Assassin's Creed series is my favorite and most hated series of all goddamn time. Why? Because there is a fantastic story in Assassin's Creed, and they are going to close it. Assassin's Creed 3 is the final of Assassin's Creed, but those goddamn salespeople is like, we're having too much money, so we're going to stretch this bitch as long as possible. And every year, I give Ubisoft $80 to move the fucking tick of the story a smidgen, and it will never end. I will die before the actual story of Assassin's Creed ends. It is the most frustrating thing ever. The last one took me 100 hours to finish. It is a single player game. And by the way, I didn't 100% that motherfucker. I just got through the basic story. There's so much DLC for that thing. It's called Games as a Service. It's the worst thing I've ever done. I just want to know what happened to Juno. Juno was out there somewhere terrorizing all of Canada, and no one seems to give a shit. And I'm just finished the story.
I've unlocked the nerve with this
Every year, I hate it. Hurts.
It's ridiculous.
Assassin's Creed is ridiculous. I used to know what happened. I was one of those people that was able, this happened and this happened and this one, and now I'm like, I have no clue what's going. No idea.
Did it get too complicated?
Yes. The writers of lost their jobs and went to write Assassin's Creed. That's what happened. What happened to the smoke monster? What smoke monster? Get out of my face!
Oof.
Ah!
All right, I'm gonna ask one more die question before we go on to the chat questions.
Ah!
Here's a palate cleanser. All right. I got a 13. What's your favorite version or depiction of time travel?
What's my favorite version or depiction of time travel? Okay. My theory of time travel. I have my theory of time travel is that it is not possible in the way that we're thinking, because even if you was able to say, I want to go back in time to this very point 50 years ago, you have to understand that the earth is moving in space, so you're going to be out in space. But I don't think that's actually possible. I think the best version of time travel we might ever get is being able to look into the past, where we put a telescope or a satellite way out into space and somehow get that light to go back to us faster than the light going to it, so that we can see what the earth looked like in the past. I think that's the closest we're ever going to possibly get to actual time travel. I don't think we'll either, it's going to be beyond our ability to actually work on enough technology to get us there, or the testing and the actual first couple of trials is going to result in murders, and we won't know if they're murders because they're in a different time period in the middle of space somewhere. We just won't know. And also, I think what might be better possible is actually dimension travel, and that
Mm,
what we would think is time travel, we're actually hopping to a different dimension,
yeah.
where like hopefully the difference is that an ant died slightly faster than the last one. I hope that's what the difference is. But anyway, all of it to say, we're gonna die way before any of that shit becomes a reality. Like we
Sadly
haven't even
true.
solved our energy issue with making any of that a problem. So don't even worry.
Sad but true.
It's forever true. We have so many energy problems to solve just now.
All right, we
Don't
do
forget
have
I'm an
some
idiot.
questions. We do have
Yeah,
some
bring on the
questions from the
questions.
chat.
Let's
All
go.
right. We've got when you run karaoke, do you ever like to duet with your attendees?
If they ask for it, I would love to do it with my attendees. The problem is that some of my attendees don't even know the song either. So I'm just trying to like, here's the note. You should
You
be
feed it
singing
to
on the
them.
right notes. Here's the notes. But if they want me to sing with them, I will. I try not to sing too much when I'm running it, so that because the line gets really long. So it's just trying to be fair about stuff like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, they want me to sing, I'll sing with them. I go, damn.
um, we've also another question, completely unrelated to anything. What is a
Okay.
dream destination of yours if you could travel anywhere?
Shit, that's a good ass question because I've been very lucky to go to most of my dream destinations.
Awesome.
Um, my last dream destination, other than going back to Japan, I'd like to spend more time in Japan. I would like to go to Korea, namely the southern one, uh, to eat all of its food. I think I would love to go to South Korea, get some of its food and stuff like that. It'd be really cool. Before 2018, it would have been, I want to go to Japan. I want to go to Nippon, the land of the rising sun. But I've done that. And I
Mhm.
want to, because there's so much more to see, especially I haven't, go to Osaka. Osaka is amazing. It's a whole different goddamn prefecture of Japan. Like, it's like
Mhm.
the California of Japan. It's a different group of people.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I've only been to Tokyo and Kyoto myself. So,
Same. That's what we did. To Tokyo, Kyoto,
yeah.
back to Tokyo. Yeah. Um, the bullet train passes by Osaka, and apparently it's just a different. There's more of an art. It's less conservative, but a bit more artsy. They have Amerikamura, which is American Town, which I just want to know what that looks like. I was like, yes, I want to go. I want to get an American hamburger in this fucking place. Let's go.
It's on the list now. Thanks.
Yes, anytime.
um, Another question. We've got, as a child, what shows or stories do you remember that have influenced your current characters today or future characters that you want to play for tabletop RPGs?
Yes. Uh as a child, what characters influenced you that you want to play today? Uh Man, I was the Power Rangers kid.
Ooh.
I was a big Power Rangers kid. I had all the lore up until Lost in Space. I had all the lore up until Lost in Space, and then I got completely lost. Um That's a damn good question. Give me. Well, I like paladins. Paladins is always knights of the round table for me. I don't
Mhm.
ever try not to play a paladin as a not as a knight of round table. Um, every monk I play is a teenage mutant ninja turtle. Uh,
That's perfect.
every single one. Um, that's about it. I don't know because I'd admit I don't read too much and I don't retain information that well.
Mhm.
Most of my characters come from like an idea or concept, like or something that I've learned is like do unto others as others would do unto you. Giving help without expectation. Stop being an idiot. Uh, save the planet. It's more concepts than TV shows, but yeah.
Mhm.
But now you're making me remember Teenage Biker Mice from Mars, Street Sharks, SWAT Cats,
Street sharks.
Street Sharks. Yeah, yeah, Street Sharks. People who know Street Sharks are the best people. I've always said. Anyway, yeah, I can't. I'm so sorry for reading, but I don't know that one too much. Street Sharks. Street Sharks.
All right, another question. With all the D&D shows and podcasts now, do you have a favorite?
Here's a secret about me. I have difficulty watching D&D. It is a problem I have. I hate watching it because I always want to play. I have that issue with all media I consume. The only ones that I can do that doesn't bother me is like YouTube and television.
Mhm.
YouTube, television, movies, I can sit there and enjoy it. But if it's anything that's live or improv, I always like, but I can make better decisions, or I want to do it, or I want to be up there. That's why I
Mhm.
do so many panels. I can't watch a panel. I want to be on it. I can't do it. So no.
Yeah.
So I mean that I know that makes me sound real bad as a person on so many stuff, but like that's why I'm on stuff because I can't listen to it.
I feel that in a different realm. I can't go to events if I'm not hosting something, right?
Yeah,
Because then I'm like, man, I just
I,
wish I was hosting something
yeah,
right
I'd
now.
be
Yeah.
so much better at it. I'd be so much better at it than the person currently doing it. No
Yep.
disrespect, but it's facts.
Yep. Uh, great. Another question we have is, all right, what childhood show would you love to remake, and what character would you want to voice in it?
Oh my god,
That's a good question.
what childhood show would I think me and five people watched this show. It's called WMAC Masters. Yeah, it's okay. Okay. WMAC Masters is what happens when you put Mortal Kombat and Power Rangers together. It was a show of different martial artists having fake fights with putties and then trying to win a belt. It was the best thing ever. You had like Grey Wolf and Iron Man and Ice Machine and Black Wolf. It was the greatest thing ever. It was a soap opera and they just martial arts their way to the top and they would earn belts. And it was the show ended on a cliffhanger where the bad guys won. I just want to be on that show as like the master, like the main guy of the voice of the welcome to WMAC Masters. I would love to see that show made again. Oh my god, it was so good and
I've
so
never heard of
goddamn cheesy. I know me and 10 people watched it, which is why it got canceled, but it was amazing. Oh my god. Welcome, Raiders. Hi.
Yeah. Welcome, Raiders. Thank you, Game Die Repeat. Thanks for joining us. We are asking Lemar the con guy some questions right now.
I love the word game die repeat. That's fantastic.
All right. Another question from the chat is, who would you have picked? Pikachu, Squirtle, Bulbasaur, or Charmander?
Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur is the only
Ooh.
right answer. Oh, yeah, get out of my
Oh.
face. All of you are liars. All of you are liars. Bulbasaur is the best Pokemon. I will take that to the grave. Tree Frog for life. Yes, Squirtle was bullshit. Squirtle would lose to Misty and get his shit rocked with Brock. Charmander was an asshole in every version of Charmander. The anime, the games, he was always a jackass because everyone just wanted a fire breathing dragon, which is bullshit because Charizard's not even a goddamn dragon. But you know who was amazing? Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur was epic. No, get away from me, Charmander lovers. And Pikachu's cheating. You don't have Ash's Pikachu. That Pikachu has been abused. It should be a Raichu by now. It has growth problems. He shocked his Pikachu. I want you to remember that they electrified his Pikachu. That's why he's so strong. He's bullshit. You don't have Ash's Pikachu. You have a Pikachu. Get out of my face. It's Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur.
Okay, besides not being the other ones, why is Bulbasaur?
Because first thing, Bulbasaur is fun to play with, right? He can be super strong. He had all of his attacks made goddamn sense. He was adorable. Also, in the show, he was amazing. He was the longest held Pokemon other than fucking Pikachu that Ash ever had. The only reason he left Ash's side is to become the goddamn Rosa Parks of Pokemon. He helped, yeah, he did. He helped lost Pokemon find a home. That's what he did. And then he came back every once in a while and say, Bulba. Every time he was amazing. He was dope. He's the number one Pokemon. He's the number one Pokemon, and he's the number one Pokemon. First created, first on the list, first to starter. Get away from me.
Oh my gosh. Beautiful. That was great. All right. We have kind of a weird question that's following up to that. What is your favorite meme and what voice would you give it?
Surprise Pikachu.
Oh, you had that one ready to go.
Surprise Pikachu. Oh, because he's so offended. It's so great. The best one.
I have no idea what I would have said to that question, and you just had that on point. Perfect. All right. Another question we've got from the audience is: if someone were to make a D&D character based on your personality, what would their stats be?
I hate to tell you this. I did this. I built myself. I did build myself. Okay, hold on. What is it? Okay. Okay. It depends on what version of me you need, right? If you need this guy, if you need the tabletop RPG Lemar, you're going to be a bard. If you have me at work and a good friend, I'm going to be a cleric. Now, I need you to take all these stats with a grain of salt. Yes, basic people are 10s, whatever. Let's pretend this is me in my 20s, okay? You're a +2 for strength. You're a 0 in dex. I've always been a big boy. You're a 1 at con. I'm pretty good at eating bad foods, but if you cut me, I'm very sad. I'm kind of stupid, so I'm -1 on intelligence. But I can figure stuff out because I do IT, so I'm +4 in wisdom. And then I have a +5 in charisma because I have taught people to death. So 2, 0, 1, -1, 4, 5 is my stats. If you wanted to build me, I highly suggest you pick Bard or Cleric. Because I think that's just what I am. And yeah, I like who I am and stuff like that.
I love that you had that ready to go too.
Oh, I was like, because I do want to play a game one day with a group of people who can play without being offended, where you build yourself and then someone else has to play you.
Oh my gosh.
It can only last for one shot because doing it over and over again is going to get into like, yeah, well, I remember that time where you did this, and so I believe you would do this. Like, no, okay, let's do a one shot. Lemar, Jim, all of our friends. We build ourselves, and then you hand your character over to the DM, and the DM gives it to random people. I think that'd be really fun.
I love that so much.
You only can do one shot because you only get offensive.
Yeah.
More than one shot's going to get offensive.
Yeah. We're gonna struggle after that.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
my god. All right, we've got the last few questions from the audience here.
Let's
That
roll.
was so good. Uh, if you could make any spell real, what would it be and how would you use it?
Shit. If I can make any spell real, how would I use it? Oh, that's such a good question because I swear I've thought this is. I can't believe this is not the one I've thought about the most. I ooh because it can't be revivify or any resurrection spells because I'm not rich. How many of you have a diamond on hand? You don't. So I don't just want the rich to be able to come back whenever they want. I think that'd be
Ooh,
some bullshit.
gross. Yeah.
So let's keep it to cantrips because anything above a cantrip, then you're getting into god status. Like imagine someone cast cure wounds in real life, they're now a god. So
Jesus.
let's
Yeah.
keep it in cantrips. I would either want guidance or spare the dying.
Mm.
Um, Probably more guidance. I think guidance would be the one that would get me thrown into the special jail the least. Where you say, "Hey, buddy, you got this." Pat their back
Yeah.
and slightly better because everything else, like even light, is awesome, but that's a flashlight. Um, and the offensive spells would get me instantly chased by the government. Toll the Dead instantly chased by the government. Um, magic missile, the wizard one, which is called Eldritch Blast, instantly chased by the government. Guidance is the only safe one. Um, but yeah, that's a good thought question about which spell would actually be good in real life because anything at level 1 or higher is going to be
Too
real
much.
dangerous, way too much, real
Yeah.
dangerous.
uh, we have a similar question, but this will be our last question for the night.
Okay.
What spell in D&D would you most likely abuse if you were granted the ability to use it?
um, man, which spell in D&D would I abuse if I was allowed to use it? If I could get around the monetary cost, I think Revivify would stop a lot of arguments. Now, hear me out. This is going to get morbid. Someone's messing with you.
Mhm.
Blah, blah, blah. Your mama. I'll go, you need to stop messing with me. I'll make you see Jesus. And they'll keep messing with you. And then you take them out. And then everyone goes like, "Oh my god, you killed him!" I'm like, no, I didn't. Give me a second. Well, you're welcome back. It's like I told you to stop messing with me.
Oh
Now
my
go
gosh.
home. And
Oh
then they
my
have to deal with a level of exhaustion all day because they had to figure out what death feels like, and they'll change their whole worldview. They won't even know how to go back to work. They'll have to talk to a therapist, and none of them is going to be able to help them because what do they know about seeing death in real life? Then they'd have to come back to me. It's like, what did you do to me? It's like, I warned you to stop messing with me. And
That's a good
I
choice.
would have, yeah. The only thing, don't, if y'all can get around the monetary cost, instantly. Instantly.
That's hilarious. I love how that's your scenario too.
Oh, yeah. It's a good, how many people would you end? Because I would not have problems. If I just had 3 people would mess with me. The first person wouldn't know what's going to happen. The second person would hear rumors and not believe it. The third person would want to try it.
Yeah.
After 3 people, no one's going to mess with me ever again.
Fuck around and find out. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what cold really feels like? I'll make you feel it.
Whew. Um, I think that's a good place to
We're
wrap
gonna
it up.
stop there. All right, yeah. We're gonna
Yeah.
stop with the revivify question.
I love it.
God, was
That was Jesus. Oh my goodness. But before we say goodnight, is there anything you want to plug? Where can we catch you next? The floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. Once again, my name is Lemar the Con Guy, Lemar the Con Guy. Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, TikTok. All social handles are the exact same. Lemar the Con Guy. You can go to my link tree, linktr.ee/Lemar the Con Guy. Website coming soon with LemarTheConGuy.com. Currently working on that, getting commissioned. So I have a bunch of stuff coming up. So be prepared for this. Tomorrow, over in Creeds Assemble at 6:30, we're playing our small Spelljammer D&D campaign with some fantastic people. You'll see me playing Reginald Greybottom, my Griff Ranger rogue with a giant gun. His entire life is to shoot people. Wednesday, as far as you guys are concerned, I have an off day, but I'm doing days 0 day for Novardin, a new tabletop RPG that not a lot of people know about. So we're kind of debuting it and having some really cool things. All you need to know is that character is blue. Die. Thursday is an off time because my band is rehearsing. Friday, over at the DAT Network at 6 p.m. I will be playing Pathfinder 2E, where you'll see my puppet witch Franklin try to make more friends. Those in the Southern California area, particularly the Los Angeles, Pasadena area, I will be at Anime Pasadena on Saturday and Sunday, being part of several panels and running my comedy panel as well. So make sure you check us out there. Monday is off stream game, and then next Tuesday I'll be on official Paizo's channel, playing Pathfinder 2E, where you'll see my bear druid Khan Shaka from the Shaka clan. He likes bears, and that's everything I'm doing up until Thanksgiving. But please follow all my social medias. I am like 150 away from getting 1,000 people on Twitter. So I know it's on fire, but I would like to have 1,000 people before Twitter officially closes before the end of the year. But thank you everyone who came by. Thank you, Jim. I love you so much. This has been so much fun. This is one of the best interviews I've ever had.
Well, thank you for joining us today. I really appreciate it. We've dropped your link in the chat.
Yeah.
So hopefully everyone can see your link tree in the chat. And definitely check out everything you've got coming up. Feel like we're just gonna keep seeing more and more of you. Can't wait.
Reach out to Critical Role, have them be on the show so I can get my dream of saying "Shut up, Matt Mercer" to his face.
So close. You're so close. I believe in you. Yes. Well, thank you again so much. I really appreciated talking with you today. And thank you to everyone out there who joined us in the chat. Thank you, Raiders, for stopping by this channel. We also have a live play D&D game we play on Monday nights when GoodBerry Cafe is not here. So we should be back next week. And then there's also community play days. If you join our Discord, we play those live on this channel as well. Yeah, and I hope you'll check us out. Normally it's same time, same place on Mondays at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. But until then, I encourage you to follow and subscribe to our channel. And I hope you have a very good night. Good night.
Bye. Dance until the screen turns off.
Yeah.
Dance until the screen turns off. We do the dance until the screen turns off. Dance until the screen turns off. Did you the dance until the screen turns off?